This is an absolute robbery for the Dallas Cowboys, as with a struggling secondary continuing to hurt Dallas, the perfect six-time Pro Bowl piece just landed on the free agency market, and Jerry Jones has a golden opportunity. Welcome into Cowboys Digest here. I'm Jace Andrews, and I appreciate you hanging out with me and tuning into today's show. Now, before we get going, I want to say a ginormous thank you to everybody who has supported us along this journey, but we have recently reached 10,000 subscribers. I cannot thank you enough. I took this channel over when we were less than 3,000, and we are growing at a fast pace. Over 100 subscribers, more than 10,000 from just yesterday. So continually hit that subscribe button, guys. Daily coverage of the Cowboys, and the best part about it, it's 100% free. Okay, let's talk about it. I think the Dallas Cowboys have a perfect signing right in front of their face, and it's for more reasons than one. Darius Slay was released from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think he could be a very good option for the Cowboys, given not only the injury issues in the secondary, but for a lot of the season, the struggle of the secondary. Now, in terms of why Darius Slay was released and why the Cowboys should be interested, in my opinion, and in other opinions that we'll get to in just a moment, this was not a release of we think Darius Slay is bad. We think that Darius Slay is good. We just have better options. Asante Samuel Jr. was on the practice squad of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that was the guy they chose to sign. In making room, they had to waive Darius Slay. Now, that's not the only reason that I look at this release and think nothing of it more than this was just a partnership that didn't work out ultimately. The NFL is a business, and this was a partnership, and it didn't work out. And we kind of got that report here from Adam Schefter that says Steelers and cornerback Darius Slay have mutually agreed to part ways. Slay's agent Drew Rosenhaus and Robert Bailey told ESPN. Slay is interested in continuing to play and will consider signing with other teams, but his time in Pittsburgh has come to an end. As I said, this was not a release of he is bad at football or we don't think he's useful to this team. It was we have better options that we want to sign. He's an older veteran that we don't think is useful to this organization. And in that same light, Darius Slay felt he wasn't getting used in the right way, felt that this was not the best fit for him. He felt that this was a bad situation, asked for his way out. The Steelers agreed, and ultimately, that is it. For the Dallas Cowboys in their situation, their quarterback room has been an injury-ridden place for a majority of the season. Deron Bland has dealt with injury. Savon Rebel Jr. has just come back off his torn ACL that kept him out of the first nearly 10-plus weeks. And then you talk about the injury to Trevon Diggs, and while his hope is to play this week, it still is the fact that the Cowboys, and especially even in their safety room, it's just been an injury-ridden place. And so that's why Darius Slay is, to me, such an obvious move. Now, is he this amazing all-pro, six-time Pro Bowl quarterback that he was back in the late 2010s? No, not at all. I'm not expecting that from him. His PFF grade has dropped tremendously to a 58.3, making him 71st out of 110 cornerbacks. But at the same breath, he is a guy that I can trust. He's a veteran that has been in this league for a very long time. And in my mind, can help out this team. You think about all the seasons that he has played in the NFL, going back to his first couple years from 2013 to 2019 with the Detroit Lions, and then, of course, going to the Philadelphia Eagles from 2019 to 2024. He was a significant piece of both those teams. And in my mind, especially given the George Pickens situation, again, this is just my opinion, and I don't mind sharing it, I think the Steelers are a pretty poorly run organization. They've had Mike Tomlin for who knows how long at this point, and he just gets to above 500. That's not good enough in my opinion, but if the Steelers want to do that, go right ahead. Go sign your 37-year-old Adam Thielen wide receiver and keep your 42-year-old quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. Besides the point, I don't like the Steelers. We get that. I just don't think it was a good situation for Darius Slay. Whereas if you put him in a good situation, like the Dallas Cowboys potentially, especially with the way they've been playing and the route that their defense is taking, that could really change the entire dividends of this team. Now, is he worth signing is the question mark, and that's where maybe you start to have differentiating opinions. DaRon Bland, for some games, he's looked not great, but in other games, he's looked pretty good. And in an overall sense, he's been one of the top 30 cornerbacks in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus, a 69.2 rating, which ranks him at 26th out of 110 cornerbacks. And although the injuries have been there, he does have 627 snaps, which is 34th out of 202 cornerbacks in the NFL, along with a interception. Now, DaRon Bland is not the guy that I'm looking at to say, oh, well, if Darius Slay comes in, he's going to replace him. But looking back at this roster, the injuries have been present, and a depth piece would be nice. Plus, Siobhan Revel's a rookie, but at the same time, he's been playing arguably maybe very, very good, and one of the most underrated pieces on the Cowboys since his return 3 games ago. He has allowed just 5 receptions for 61 yards across 89 coverage snaps. That is an absolute fantastic number to have in your back pocket. And so you look at DaRon, you look at Siobhan, you're thinking, okay, this is actually it's not a bad thing. And what about Trevon Diggs? Well, he is all of a sudden, now that the Cowboys are good, maybe throw that out there. He wants to play. He wants to be back. It didn't seem like he wanted to in the early part of the season. Now he wants to be here. He has been locked in at practice, playing both these days. And with the Cowboys game tomorrow night, he wants to be there. He wants to be active. He wants to be on that roster and playing. And, well, he very well could be. He very well could be. And so that opens the question of, is Darius Slay worth it? If you ask me, because of the injuries, because of the way this season has gone, and because of the cheapness of Darius Slay, who wants to be on what is a winning organization that is maybe a better fit for him, I think it's perfect. I think it's a great, great one to have. And in a lot of ways, could be something as a mutual way to help out both sides. Darius Slay can kind of get his career back into a nice place to kind of finish out his career somewhere else. Maybe it's not in Dallas, but somewhere in a good spot. You have a secondary issue with your Dallas Cowboys, and they fixed that as well. It just, to me, seems like a really good agreement. But I know I'm not the only opinion, and of course, I want to know yours. Is this something that you would be interested in signing Darius Slay? That is, if you would be interested in it, then I want you to get in the comments section and go down there and type S for sign. If you think that, no, this is not a good option, I don't know what you're thinking, you're absolutely crazy, then I want you to type P for pass. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section on this. I'm very curious because I really do think this is a pretty easy signing. I think it'd be a great one, especially for the price. And for a secondary reason, you keep him away from the Eagles. S for sign, P for pass. Would you be interested in signing Darius Slay? That last reason that I just mentioned is a big thing in my mind because there are a lot of reports that Slay would go back to the Eagles, and we know what he did with the Philadelphia Eagles. We know how good he was, and you sign him, you keep him out of there as well. And I know that's not the only reason to sign somebody. You never want to sign somebody just to keep them away from somebody else. But if you have a struggling position, especially with the depth at cornerback and safety, I know he doesn't play safety, but you can maneuver him and use different guys in different slots, you feel pretty confident. You feel like you like it. And in a lot of ways, you feel like this could be a very good marriage between both Darius Slay and the Dallas Cowboys. Ultimately, though, Siobhan Revel has been great. DaRon has been great as of late. And Trevon coming back here could be a very, very good addition to this team. I just worried because we have gone so well with this team. We've gone from zero to hero, and I want that to continue so bad. So I'm looking at every possibility of how can we make this team better because the trade deadline was great, and it made us better. So now what else can we do to keep the momentum going, keep everything going? Big game tomorrow night against the Detroit Lions. We'll get that kind of talking more tomorrow. Injury report, all that stuff, maybe even coming out tonight. So make sure you stick around and watch for that. That's what we got for you here today on Cowboys Digest. We do appreciate you hanging out with us and tuning in to today's show. For now, though, we're going to say peace out, everybody, and see you next time.